Okay, 2003 Nissan Altima. It's got about 180,000 miles. Been having a few issues. One is it's using a lot of oil, and been having problems with oil getting down inside the spark plug tube. Originally the problem was cylinder 1 and cylinder 2. I replaced the valve cover. That didn't seem to solve it. This is an aftermarket, it's not original, it's not a Nissan part. Anyway, so what I did was, I've got the coils over here, and you'll see that I've got them marked 1, 2, 3, and 4. So originally this was on cylinder 4, 3, 2, and 1. What I did was 1 and 2 were getting oil soaked, as I mentioned. So I switched the order. I put 3 and 4 in. So this would be cylinder 1, cylinder 2, 3, and 4. And you'll notice that the problem moved. These were dry when I put them in, and now we're getting oil. Now we're getting oil in 3 and 4. I don't know if we'll be able to see this, but it's just starting to get oil down in there. I probably won't be able to get a good shot, but it's getting a little bit of oil down in the spark plug holes. Yeah, you really can't see it, but anyway, it's just starting. So the point I'm getting at is, when you buy coils, what I'm finding is, I went with the cheaper ones. I don't remember what these cost, but these were some cheaper ones. I've also tried replacing these lower end, the boots. You can buy a rebuild kit at O'Reilly's. That didn't work. So there's something wrong with the design on the cheaper ones. Like I say, I've replaced the valve cover, so it's got the new seals, but there's something about the design. These don't seem to fit as tight as these. And these are, I don't know what they are, but they're made in Japan. It says right there. That's the part number. This is a 2003 Nissan Altima 2.5. Whatever these are, I think these are around 70-75 bucks a piece, and that's why I didn't want to buy more. But this seems to work. Completely dry, no oil. These fit real tight, so I'm gonna have to spend 150 bucks and just buy two. Even though electrically these work fine, I don't have any misfires or anything. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the valve cover back off. We've had issues with these, with the baffling in there and getting oil in here, so I want to take this off and look inside. I may have to break down and get a Nissan valve cover, because I do not know why it's sucking oil through the PCV into the intake, and it's burning about a quart every 200 miles, which is ridiculous. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Alright, a little bit more tear down here. Let's see here. Pulled the valve cover off, and I pulled off this goes on the intake manifold. You can see, hopefully see a lot of oil on there. There we go. And you can see the oil here. So it definitely was pulling oil into the intake. So yeah, valve cover's off. And this is a aftermarket. I believe this might be a Dorman. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if that's a Dorman symbol or part number or whatever. Made in China. Okay, so there's a video on YouTube where they say don't get the Dorman valve covers. They say that the guy said it can cause this problem, and what he was saying is that this baffle is not properly plastic welded, sealed, whatever. I don't know if you can even see it, but I could probably show you here. Yeah, you can see that, I think. maybe. That moves pretty easily, and there's no seal around these welds. And what I've been doing is putting air in here. See if I can do it. It might be kind of loud. Back to the Altima. First thing I should mention, I mentioned that this is burning a lot of oil. I want to mention that I've eliminated the pre-cat a couple years ago. Didn't look like it had any kind of pre-cat failure. I've done a compression test. The lowest cylinder is like 180, highest is 185. Appears to be in spec. Vacuum is about 17 inches, so I think the motor is just fine. Trying to figure out why all this oil is getting sucked into the intake. And there's a video out there where they say these Dorman valve covers, this baffle they say is not properly welded. I don't know if you can see that, it moves. Anyway, I was kind of trying to figure out how this thing works. So I think the way it's supposed to work is this should all be fairly well sealed, and then it has these little drop down, looks like ports here. Okay. And I think these go, you know, this one here would go down in there, the other one would go right in there. There's drain holes down in the bottom, like one down there, one down here, one down in the corner. So they kind of put these near the drain holes, so they're fairly close. You know, the crankcase is venting up through there, and then they keep these, I think, kind of ported, small. You've got fresh air that comes in from your air box, and then you've got your ported PVC, which would come out the back and go into there. So I think they try to control how much, basically you don't want a bunch of oil getting into this baffle. I think that's the key. I'm not really sure about all these cutouts in here. I don't know if this is connected and goes inside here, and if, you know, they're trying to keep oil out of that. I don't really 100%, never ran into this problem with any vehicle before, so. But that's what they're saying. This guy said, don't get the Dorman, get a real Nissan valve cover, so I may have to go that route. Oh, another thing I want to show on here is that port, or whatever you call it there. I noticed it was broken, and then I started looking at it, and if you look at where that would go, if you flip this valve cover over, okay, if you flip it, it would go this way. So that would put it right next to, let me come around here, we'll put it right back here on the back side of that cam, this cam right here. So it would be right in there, and it appears that that cam lobe has been rubbing on that. If you look at the way that's worn, I don't know if you can see it in the video, that cam has been hitting that and wearing it out. So that would create a big hole for oil to go into, and then that cam spinning around there is slinging oil into this baffle. So even if the baffle isn't the greatest seal with that giant hole instead of small, you know, this is just supposed to take crankcase ventilation, you know, air, basically, smoke, whatever, pressure out of the motor and put it back, you know, recycle it. But with this massive hole here, you know, that cam could be throwing quite a bit of oil into that baffle. I'm getting ideas here. I wonder if I should just, I don't know if I want to do it, but instead of buying a valve cover, if I could just seal that thing up, cut that thing off, and I hate to put stuff inside the motor that could fall out, but I almost feel like I could just seal that thing up and throw it back on. It probably would maybe work, I don't know. But I'm going to buy a new valve cover, I think. But yeah, I think that baffle, I'm guessing on the Nissans it's probably over farther, or it's different. It shouldn't have hit the cam like that. I mean, this thing can only go on one way. It doesn't move around, so. Alright, that's where I'm at on the Nissan.